Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it did not take them long. And that is the guys in the Western Europe with their operative media. They will try to portray the Istanbul talks as being a fiasco, a sabotage by Putin. How? I told you in a video earlier today that I posted, and this is the video, that in this video, the West will try to force Putin to show up in Istanbul, Turkey, for the peace summit, which is not a peace summit. It's a negotiations, a continuation of the 2022 negotiations in Istanbul. Putin has never said he will be in Istanbul. But Zelensky said he will. Now Zelensky said, I won't be in Istanbul. I'm not coming. Well, I told you in that video that I just made that these guys will play like this. Putin never said anything about being in Istanbul. Zelensky said, I will be in Istanbul to meet Putin. Putin did not say he's going to meet you. He said his delegation is going to meet your delegation. And Zelensky said, I will be going over there, but he's going to say, well, Putin is not going to go, so I won't go. That means Putin definitely sabotaged the peace talks. So we're not going to go because Putin lied again for everybody to see. And the media will portray it as a Russian sabotage, and the Russians are not serious, therefore we have to attack them. Otherwise they're gonna destroy our way of life, remember? So Zelensky said, I won't go. The media will portray it as Putin again lied. And then we have even the weak. Did you know the weak can demand? Or the loser can demand? I never heard this. So if we are at war and I win, you can't demand anything. I mean, you want to see how your demands will be met? Smack! Again, and smack and smack and smack. Go to your room and clean your underwear. Go and take a shower or bath. That's how I would say. But hey, somehow the losers are demanding Russia's ceasefire, and Russia, according to the media, is fuming. And I will show you how media lies by exaggeration, by interpretation. It's very easy. Now anybody's going to close that media for lying, because really that's a lie. How is that a lie? Let's say I would show you these glasses. And I say, how do you like my glasses? And you say, well, your glasses are big. And I say, no, they're quite small. And you say, big. Well, your interpretation, they are big. Can we objectively determine if these glasses are big or are small? Of course, we compare them with all the glasses around, and we're going to find out these are actually in the small echelon, okay? Or you can weigh them. Oh, they're heavy. They're not heavy. Why? You can weigh them. You can objectively find out if these guys are heavy according to its qualities compared with others. The same. European Union compared with Russia, United States of America, and China is weak. But they play as if they're strong. I'm going to show you how the French foreign minister has to improve his ability to understand what he reads, because he's not paying attention. All right, let's start with the first topic, which is Russia is fuming. This is the interpretation of Peskov's statements regarding rejecting the imbecilic, not imbecilic, it's not imbecilic. I think it's not the right time for that. But it could be. But remember, the weak doesn't get to dictate, or the loser. Only the winner does that. And by the way, the winner also writes history. So, or the victor. Here it is, New Voice of Ukraine. Kremlin fumes over ceasefire deadline. Now, when you think about someone fuming, I imagine someone yelling, throwing things, blah, blah, blah. That's how tundra. That's how I envision someone fuming. Fuming, it can't be, hey, I don't like you. That's not fuming, I'm telling you. I mean, in my view, I don't know, maybe in yours, that was also fuming. But let's go. I mean, we're not going to push things to extreme, are we? Like you can say, well, these are big actually compared with microscopic something. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov lashed out at ceasefire ultimatum issued by the United States and the European Union. So these are right here. Calling the language unacceptable and rejecting the demand for Russia to agree to a 30-day truce in Ukraine. So let me quote exactly what he said. He said, "You can't talk to Russia like that," Peskov said on Monday, on May 12, in response to a statement by German government spokesperson Cornelius, who gave an ultimatum and a deadline to the Russian dictator. Oh, today Putin is the dictator. But he ran elections last year. Zelensky didn't. But Putin is the dictator, not Zelensky. Had 12 hours to accept the proposal, according to current time. So the Germans are giving the Russians a deadline. As I said, this is delusion. And if the Russians are not going to comply, what exactly are you going to do? I tell you what you're going to do. You're going to go back and suck that big American you know what. Why? Because you are their batch. And you threaten these guys? Please. First, you become independent and sovereign again. So rewind to 1945. And then we're talking, regain your balls that were snipped in 1945, and then maybe you would be taken into consideration. And the Russians already smacked you once. You want another smack? Please go back over there under your little rock. Again, let's see here. This is fuming. And this is a better reporting than the other one. Ceasefire or sanctions. Kremlin tells Europe that Russia can't be spoken to in the language of ultimatums. Don't you think? Do you have children? Do you have grandchildren? Can a grandchild or a child, a minor, a little baboon, give you ultimatums? If you don't buy me candies, I won't clean my room. I'm not going to go to school tomorrow. Then that's it. And you got about 3 seconds to tell me yes. What would you do? Okay. You understand the difference between your power, your authority, and the kid's nothing? But the kid can't do that. So the same thing here. These guys demand and give ultimatums, deadlines. And let's say what this guy said. This is what Peskov said. And you tell me if this is fuming, okay? To me it's not, but maybe it is for you. I don't know. Before this warning, we had already heard warnings the day before yesterday. And they were also expressed in the form of an ultimatum. But this language of ultimatums is unacceptable to Russia. It is not appropriate. You can't talk to Russia in this language. Well, is that fuming? I heard Peskov talk. He's very much like this. Okay, yes, you can't accept. Yes. If I would be Russia, I would tell you what fuming will. Fuck off, you fucking retards. Get retard. That's what it would be like. Not even fuming, that's ridiculous. All right, let's move to the next topic. I'm going to show you the French foreign minister. A baboon. A baboon. Why is a baboon? When I call someone a baboon, it's not because they look like baboons. They act in an infantile way. They act based on their feelings. And they act with no reason. Not too much reason employed in their statements. That's why I called Annalena Baerbock, the former foreign minister of used to be great Germany, a baboon and an infantile, or Liz Truss, because they proved with their statements. So this guy qualified. He got the license of a baboon right here. Why? This is according to Ukrinform. He says, right here, Putin asks for talks. Correct. Now he must show up, says French foreign minister. Hey, baboon. No, he didn't ask to show up. He asked for talks. It's a difference. As a foreign minister, you have to understand grammar, words, you understand meanings. Because when these guys are making statements, they're not like you in the West, baboons saying whatever they say. That's not what I meant. You know, like Trump goes and says, hey, or Biden or whomever. And then after him, the spokesperson of the White House comes and clears the air what the imbecile said, because the imbecile is an imbecile. That's why you have the spokesman. Actually, what did he really say that? Oh no. Actually, he didn't mean that. This is what you need to understand. Why? Because they're baboons, but they're in charge of us. I don't want baboons in charge of me. So let's see what this guy say, right? So he says now he must show up. The French Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, Jean-Noël Barrot, believes that Vladimir Putin must travel to Istanbul and meet there with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. And I'm quoting, Putin proposed direct contact with Volodymyr Zelensky. No, He didn't say that. It's a lie. To which Zelensky agreed. No. In no article, you can't find one time when Putin said, I, Putin Vladimirovich, blah, 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 gonna travel to Istanbul to meet Zelensky. He said, no, we're going to continue the negotiations started in Istanbul in 2022 that were interrupted. As I explained in my previous video, I peep, I interrupt, and then I continue again, peep. It's the same activity. It's not going to be pooping, which again, I made the same example, Putin showing up. No, it's nothing like that. But again, and this is the foreign minister. Do you think that this foreign minister doesn't understand that? If he doesn't understand that, the difference, that means he's an imbecile. He's an infantile. If he understands and he says that means he's a weasel. There's no other way around it. I mean, he could be a weasel and a baboon at the same time. But let's go and see what's going on here. Again, Vladimir Putin must now fulfill his part of the deal and appear in Istanbul on Thursday for a meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. But what's that? In this video, go and watch it. I use all the information I had from the Russians, from the Ukrainians, from everybody else that I got, and Putin did not say. Putin is being set up, I said here. Why? Because they want him to show up, because he's not going to show up probably. If he shows up, they want to probably shoot his airplane down. What do you think? Thinking. On accident or something. And if he's not going to show up, it's going to be, oh, see, Putin sabotaged the peace. He's not serious. That's the whole point. And I'm going to show you the next one. Right here. Ukraine Forum. This is from today, 9 o'clock. Is Putin going to sabotage? That's already there. That's after I made this video earlier today. Is Putin going to sabotage the hour of triumph for President Erdogan? Right there. On May 15, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, because he's Ukrainian, right, is ready to meet the Russian counterpart. But the Russian counterpart did not invite him over there. But he could show up for the peace talks in Istanbul, mediated by Turkish. Okay. And there's a possibility Donald Trump shows up over there. Parara. Putin caught in a vice between a ceasefire and potential fresh and thorough sanctions suggested yesterday that Ukraine and Russia meet in Istanbul. Correct. Delegations, not he. To continue what they started, the bilateral peace negotiations they began and broke off. No, they were broken off. You see how these guys are making the media news for you and broke off. No, they didn't just break up. Like, you know what? We had they got in a scuffle. No, you know exactly who punched first, who assaulted the other one. So the same, the Europeans went and they colonized the European colonizers. No. Time out, because if you're doing like that, I can say, you colonize. Are you from Africa? You colonize. Why? You're human beings. Don't lump all of us in the same 6 countries colonizers from Europe. 6 or 7. That's it. That's all you got. I have to remind you that Europe is much more than 6 or 7 countries that had colonies. That's it. Romania didn't have. I don't remember Bulgaria having, or Albania, or Czech Republic, or Slovakia. Did they have colonies? So don't use the European colonizers. Why don't you say human being? In the same way you can say there were Africans, by association being all human beings. Again, and broke off. They didn't broke off. Were broken off by Mr. Prime Minister of Great Britain at that time, Boris Johnson, who showed up in Kiev and told them, what are you talking about? We didn't tell you to go and accept anything. And ended nowhere more than 3 years ago. You see how they do it? Like they just disappeared. You see? Right here. Continue the bilateral peace negotiations that began and broke off and ended nowhere more than 3 years ago. Why? No, they say it like it's a neutral thing. It just happened. It just didn't go. This is lying by interpretation and omission right there. So there you go. So Putin wants that. Moreover, Putin in his yesterday's press appearance did not say a word about the 30-day ceasefire. He said, I won't. And Trump said the same thing. Russia does not want that. And here, Kiev response was no long in coming. President Zelensky proposed Oh, thank you very much. A face-to-face meeting with Putin on May 15 in Istanbul. The Kremlin has so far not responded to that proposal. Please put that in your books. So it's Zelensky who wants, but somehow is he going to sabotage? Sabotage what? Sabotage is something that I agreed with. So, are we going to meet tomorrow? Where? Babap, that we're going to meet. Okay, and after that I say, no, I'm not going to meet. No, that's sabotaging. If you tell me, well, let's meet to, I don't know. I don't say anything. You don't have my, I don't agree, I didn't disagree, I didn't say anything about it. Oh, he's sabotaging. I'm not sabotaging any meeting because there was no meeting between you and I said. It was the delegations, our wives' meeting. Yeah, they meet over there, but you and I never agreed to meet you. So I don't sabotage anything that I didn't agree with. I didn't agree to see you. That means I can sabotage you or anything like this. So, and there you have Zelensky here, who eventually says this. New Voice of Ukraine. Zelensky will not meet Russian officials in Istanbul unless it's Putin. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you to show up. Nobody asked you to go and meet the Russian officials. Nobody said anything about you. You, narcissist prick. Nobody asked about you unless it's Putin. But Putin did not say he's gonna come there. You invited yourself to something. So you can say after that Putin sabotaged something that was not even set up, which is you meeting him and Trump. It would be great if these three guys will meet. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But the problem is you deal with weasels here. We deal with weasels who from this thing make it this, or from this thing they make it this. And from this thing they make it like this, or make it like this, or make it like this. And then they vomit that on the population with their interpretations of what actually happened. Putin sabotaged. You can't sabotage anything that was not already preset. Bye-bye. I'm not gonna go over there if Putin doesn't show up. It was no understanding, no agreement that he's gonna show up. You invited yourself. It's true. Would be nice for Putin to show up and look in your eyes and say, you lost. And it would be nice, but I don't know if Putin is gonna show up. Putin probably will show up only if Trump guarantees him through the back channels, I'm going to show up. Then Putin's going to say, okay, I'm going to show up. I can guarantee you that. But I'm very much inclined to think that if Trump shows up and Zelensky show up, Putin might show up. Now, if Putin doesn't show up, then you're going to hear the media saying exactly this. Putin is not serious. That's the evidence. But it was not understanding. This is the evidence. They don't want peace. They want war. So everybody, let's go and fight. Or the whole world, China, everybody, see, Putin doesn't want to go. Why? He didn't say he will go. So you can't force someone. It's like someone said, let's say you have a girlfriend. You want to have a girlfriend. You like a woman or a girl. And say, all right, can we meet at the bar? Or you don't even say that. You don't even ask. You say, hey, let's say, Michelle, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I'll be at the bar of the losers. Meet you there at 6 o'clock, okay? I'll be there waiting for you. Michelle is like, and then I go, papa, everybody's going to say, if Michelle doesn't show up, she sabotages the whole thing. But it's me, I'm going to force your hand to show up? Otherwise, they will call you, the media will call you a saboteur of the meeting that was never set up. I make you do things, understand? I think I make myself very clear here, but it's just so irritating with this kind of, you're losing, those guys give you, all right, let's talk. And you say, I'm going to show up, you got to show up. And that's it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.